out. He slunk out. All right. So actually, we have Ginger Snap right here with us right now. But first, let me play a clip just for those who missed it. House Republicans, of course, now the investigation is because they allege that former Vice President Biden directly involved with business dealings with Hunter Biden. I think we have a clip which may have actually been run while we were here on air. I don't know what it is. Let's go to it.
We find evidence that Hunter Biden and Joe Biden were involved in a scheme to try to get China to buy liquefied natural gas, and from a whistleblower to try to get their foot in the door with China starting to purchase an interest in natural gas drillers. Now, people are in outrage over China buying farmland in the Dakotas. What about China starting to buy into our American energy industry at a time when we have an energy crisis because of the bad policies of the Biden administration? Now, let that sink in.
That's a fair point. And now it's time for Ginger Snap.
All right. So, hey, you got a haircut.
He did.
I did.
So give us an update on the Hunter Biden investigation. Former Vice President Joe Biden said, what's going on over there? You guys, did someone get cancer?
No. I got a little. I feel like his haircut reminds me of somebody. I want to see if we could pull up a picture of. Oh, it's Kyle. Okay.
Can you put him on a side-by-side with Kyle?
Sonic
Can we get
boom.
Look straight into the camera.
Give me like Street Fighter 2.
Can we put him on a side-by-side? Is there a way to do that or no?
Somebody screenshot it and do
Okay, you know what? Just put it up right now. Put it up right now. Bring it up. Come on.
That's pretty close. Now, look, I understand you don't have the hair going out. And the original Guile on Street Fighter behind you, by the way, which is an awesome, fun game to play.
Yeah.
You look very similar.
We're going to talk politics, Gerald, or what are we going to do here?
Well, you're wearing green, too. He has a physique for it. Didn't you love that Street Fighter film where Guile was the all-American, right, Street Fighter army? And then they had it played by Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Jean-Claude.
I am the best American Green Beret there has ever been. Watch me do the splits.
He can do the splits on chairs.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, that's if you haven't seen that in person,
He can do them on trucks.
quite the sight.
So what is happening? What's been developing here? I know they're launching an investigation.
Right. So the first thing that Gerald was mentioning, how I don't know who on CNN was saying it, but how it's a waste of time to investigate.
Well, they were saying Mitt Romney was saying that.
Sure, and there's actually other Republicans on Twitter that are kind of people that I kind of tend to respect their opinions. Like nobody cares about Joe Biden or Hunter Biden.
Right.
Well, the thing is that James Comer explicitly comes out and states, the representative from Kentucky says this is an investigation into Joe Biden.
Yeah.
So what this comes from is these documents called SARS, or Suspicious Activity Reports.
Oh, I was thinking of the original COVID.
yeah.
We had that in the Toronto airport.
Not great.
SARS-CoV.
Yeah.
Little different, but both could be quite damning if you find yourself in the wrong place.
Nice job.
So the SAR, or Suspicious Activity Report, is what a bank has to file with the Treasury Department if they suspect fraud or money laundering or something like that.
I do.
And apparently, there's a organization called Media Report that had released findings that Hunter Biden had been named in 150 of these reports. And a couple of those reports, the facts behind them had been made public, and apparently some of them actually tied Hunter Biden to human trafficking groups and things like that. So
Which, let's be honest, is not a stretch. And to be clear here, you can go check louderwithcarter.com for all the references. We're not just talking about the pedophile stuff with his niece. We're not talking about the smoking crack and hookers, all of this. Right. We're not talking about throwing the gun into a dumpster behind a grade school. So people will say, who cares? He's not president. That's true. But that is, right, the picking and choosing the argument where that's not the argument for the investigation. What we're talking about specifically is on the laptop and of the documents that we have, explicit exchanges, communications that directly involve Joe Biden financially.
Yes.
So what they do is they take the most absurd thing, which is true. People go, I don't care that he was banging his niece smoking crack, which is a crazy phrase to hear out loud. But that's not the reason for the investigation. I don't know if you have it here, but for example, the 2015 email from Ukrainian businessman, is it Vadim Pozharsky? How is that pronounced?
Close enough. Yeah.
Was thanking Hunter Biden for, quote, giving an opportunity to meet your father and he meant to say spend, and spend some time together. And he was an advisor. Well, you can kind of brief us on this. He was an advisor to the Burisma Holdings.
Right. And then that's also in like later emails that were found on the laptop from 2017, with Chinese business associates to give 10% to the big guy. Big guy was confirmed, or at least alleged to, I think by Bob Alinsky, to be Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that is what this investigation is about. Jordan and Comer are coming out. They're saying that they have new evidence that shows Hunter and Joe Biden's finances, credit cards were not only linked, but sometimes mutual.
Right.
So if this money is being spent that is being audited by the Treasury Department 150 times, Well, that could not just be Hunter Biden. That could actually be Joe Biden doing it.
Yeah.
And the reason this is coming up now is Jordan actually requested all this information from the Treasury Department in September. Problem is, only the House Oversight Committee can request that from the or that's what the Treasury Department said.
Right.
Well, surprise, surprise. Now, the day after Republicans win back the House, which is important,
Of course.
now they can do this.
Right.
So now they can look into the remaining suspicious activity reports and see what is going on. And according to evidence they already have, there's a guy named Eric Sherman that's involved here that's being named. That was one of Hunter's close business associates. And when Biden was in his rightful place as the vice president, this dude...
Not rightful mind, but place. Yes.
Yes.
Well, he was better off then.
Yes.
He could make sentences. But this guy, Eric Sherman, who is Hunter's close business associate, visited the White House over 30 times, according to Hunter's own calendar on the laptop.
That's a lot of times.
So this is not conspiratorial stuff, and I don't understand why Republicans are like, this is a waste of time.
Well, so to that point, I don't understand it either. The media is not going to do their due diligence on this and run this story down, which is what journalism should be, right? You take some information and you run it down to see if it's actually true or not. What the media does right now is say, no, this is a Russian conspiracy hoax. This Hunter Biden laptop story isn't real. What the media does is silence the story until after the election and then come back and say, oops, that's our bad. We were doing it because the FBI called us. Oh, that's interesting. The FBI called you and said to be on the lookout, and then this story breaks? Weird. If it's not going to happen in Congress, it won't happen.
No, you're absolutely
and it
right.
matters because Joe Biden is running again. For all that we know, this information is relevant to the election for the American people to decide who do I vote for.
Well, it's already
has to be
relevant for him sitting,
Well,
as the
that's-
former vice president. It's
I know.
already relevant. It's just too late,
It's
unfortunately.
even more relevant now.
When you think of the media, think about it. They made a film about Aaron Brockovich. It's about tap water, for crying out loud. They have a series and they have a film.
There was a
Two
series?
separate entities. No, not about Aaron Brockovich. About Bombshell, and then Loudest Voice in the Room about Roger Ailes. Shitty guy, of course. Horrible things happen.
Right, yeah.
Let's not even get to Joe Biden. Hunter Biden? Really? Paramount? Really? There's not a Universal? You have no interest in a sitting former vice president's son
There's
sexting his niece and smoking pieces of the wall?
somebody did do a story on Hunter, not a story, but not a series.
No, I know. They did at Daily Wire.
Was it Daily Wire?
Yeah,
that
on
did
Hunter
that?
Biden, yeah. I'm talking about the
No,
mainstream
that's what
media.
I'm saying. That's what it takes to
Right.
get something like that done. It's like, come on, guys.
That's kind of the messed up thing about media, though. Like journalists, like you said, the journalist should be the one. It should be like a revered position. They're keeping the people informed. And it used to be, funny enough, when these were like dudes that made it up on their own, that were, wearing fedoras and trench coats trying to find out the truth. Now it becomes.
I think you're talking about the mob, but the point.
Sure. But now it's a prestigious thing where we have big J journalism schools for it.
Right.
And ironically enough, now they don't actually do anything.
Right. No, you're
Except
very,
hold water for the Democrats.
and it's what's funny is they will say, misinformation online and these, illegitimate sources, blogs or clickbait.
Right.
Look, have you gone to CNN? Have you gone to MSNBC? That's all they do. You go, they say, there's this new story, and you click on it and you go, wait a second. This is just a story about someone tweeting a story.
Yeah.
The most trusted name in news. They do exactly what we do here, only less effectively, and there's no transparency. If we're wrong, and it happens, you can check the references. You can go and say, I read this on PubMed. You misinterpreted that study. We had someone do that once. I was like, well, you know what? It seems like you're correct. And then we admonished Gerald, even though it was my mistake.
Wait, what?
Yeah. The point is here, the journalism is dead, and this is a story. Journalism is dead, but this is also why a lot of people feel like they can't trust the Republican Party.
Yeah.
There should be zero Republicans who have a problem with this. There should be zero Democrats who have a problem with this.
If he wants to come out and say what I said, don't make it a circus.
Right.
If he wants to come out and say that, great. I'm with you. Say that. We haven't come to expect much from you, Mitt.
Oh, and
Just
by the
keep your mouth shut.
Who likes Mitt Romney? Honestly, look, hey, I know we have some Mormon viewers. Can you make sure that your older relatives stop keeping that guy afloat?